Slocha uvrocha. Welcome to Amud Yomi Shiur Lag BaOmer today, and we're learning today about the Halachic geography of Bavel. Yeah, we're learning about the Halachic borders of Bavel. You may ask who cares about the Halachic borders of Bavel? Well, the Gemara does. Why? Because we said in the previous year that in Bavel, that's where people were meyuchas. We knew that people had good lineage and they didn't have any mamzerim mixed within them, mamzerim or the like. Outside Bavel, in places like Elam, etc., things were different. So you have to know when we say Bavel, exactly what do you mean when you say Bavel, in order to know that you can take a family from there and feel calm and tranquil about it. Rest assured that this is all fine. So let's see. Again, I apologize for the people at home that the whiteboard is not doing exactly so well. Oh, okay, maybe now. No, well. Okay, we'll see. Okay, let's go. Continues the Gemara. Kiddushin Ain. Ein Aleph Amud Beis, Ad Heichani Bavel. The line starts with the word Goysisim. Not a nice word to start with, but that it is. I would say 10 or so lines from the bottom of the page. Ad Heichani Bavel. Up until where does Bavel go? So Bavel, yeah, today's Iraq, although the Persians ruled it at some point, is between two rivers, the Hidekel and the Pras. Yeah, the Hidekel, yeah, and the Euphrates, the Tigris and the Euphrates. So whatever is in between those two rivers, yeah, are the famous cities of Bavel, which we all learn about every daf almost. Nardo, Pumbedisa. Pumbedisa was the height of Yichus. When you wanted to say that people are Miyuchosim, soon we're going to see they were as Mayuchas as Pumbedisa. That's how it's defined. So we know that Pumbedisa and Nardo, they're not even mentioned in this map between river A and river B. We know that everything in the middle, that is mamish in the middle, not the places near the river, they're already in the question. So they are real Bavel. The questions which are, no, the places which are beyond the rivers, yeah, or close to the rivers, or to the north or to the south. I apologize, this is not the regular map the way we used to. We used to have in north over here. Well, here the north is over here, and the south over here. Yeah, okay, east and west. The Seder, that's the way it is. Okay, I worked hard enough on this map. I'm not going to change it. I'm sorry. You know, I actually like geography, so I feel for you. Geography is one of my one. No, I didn't fail the geography at all. No, I was the best in class actually. Yes. Ad Heichani Bavel. Yeah, up until where does Bavel go? But they never taught us this in geography, so we better learn it now. Ad Heichani Bavel. The Gemara asks the question: up to what point does Bavel go? And the question is beyond the that river, beyond the Hidekel, the Tigris, when you go up, not north, but up here, what? Tigris, okay. When you go over here, further away from central Bavel, up until you still say that Bavel is Bavel and the families are still kosher. Rav Omar Adnar Ozak, Shmuel Omar Adnar Yoani. That's an easy one. Above here, there are two rivers, north to smaller rivers, I assume, north to the Hidekel. One of them is Azak and one is Yoani. Rav is more machmir. Throughout the sugi, we're going to see Rav is more machmir than Shmuel. Rav says, up until Nar Azak, all the towns from up to Azak, you can still marry them, and that's it. Whoever lives beyond Azak is ready a question. Don't touch them or find out about them. We'll see. But Shmuel's more makel and he says, no, Yoani, you can even marry families that are more to the over here to the east. Yoani, all the way up to that river, is still called kosher. Question number 2. Now, le'el bediglas ad hecha. Further on in Diglas, Diglas is Hidekel, Tigris, okay? Adecha. When you go to the south, yeah, what is the border? Yeah, how far south do you go over there in order to, yeah, to make sure that you still can marry a kosher family? Rav Omar ad Bagda ve'Avna. Rav says until Bagda ve'Avna, two cities, maybe Baghdad. By the way, Baghdad sounds very much like Baghdad to us, right? So Baghdad and Avna were two towns, each one on a different side of the river. When you go all the way up there, that's the border. Yeah, until there, but beyond that, you can't marry families anymore. Well, definitely not with a with a quiet mind. Shmuel Omar ad Mushchini. Shmuel again is more mekel. He says until Mushchini. There was a further away city called Mushchini. Needless to say, this map is not exact. We're giving a very, very general idea. Shmuel says you can go even further. Again, he's mekel. He says until Mushchini, until the city of Mushchini. It's either a city or an area. Are you sure that Mushchini and not Mushchini included? The Jews who live in Mushchini itself, can you marry them or not? You say that you cannot, only up until Mushchini. Rabbi Barabba on behalf of Shmuel says, Mushchini hareki goyla lo yochsin. Mushchini is what's goyla? Goyla here doesn't mean diaspora. Goyla means pumpadisa. Mushchini is so good and so pure, yeah, says Shmuel, it's as good as Pumbedisa. Pumbedisa was the yeshiva, the center of Jewish life. Jews there were as good as gold, yeah? So you're telling me the Mushchini itself, the city, the town of Mushchini, is like Goyla, is as good as Pumbedisa when it comes to Yichus. So how come you're telling me that up until Mushchini, and Mushchini is not included? Ella, must be no, it's not what we meant. Ad Mushchini or Mushchini Bichlal. Mushchini, including Mushchini itself, yeah, you get a shidduch from Mushchini. Next time somebody suggests a shidduch for your daughter or granddaughter from Mushchini, you know, that at least shidduch-wise is an amazing place to take a shidduch for your son or daughter. That's Mushchini itself. Letachtis Badiglas, down here. Well, down again is west. Now the Letachtis Badiglas ad Heicha. Yeah. Now let's go over here. Excuse me. Tachtis over here. Now let's go to the north. North, yeah. Okay, northeast. How far do you go to the other direction? How far do you go to that side of the Tigris? Yeah. Omar Rav Shmuel. Rav Shmuel says, Ad Apamia Tato. Up until Pamia Tato, there were two cities there. Pamia Ilo, upper Apamia and lower Apamia. The way I drew it, by the way, is not exact, as we're going to see. One is close, one is more to the north than the other. And then the question is, up until Apamia Tato, what do you mean up until Apamia Tato? There were two of them, right? Okay, there were two of those Apamias, and up until the lower one, that's where the Yichus stops. Below that, you can't get married anymore. And the Gemara explains which Apamia is the good one. Tauti Apamia Havian. There were two Apamia, two towns called Apamia, upper and lower. What? Good. Apamia. One of them was upper, one of them was lower. One was kosher, one was posul. Which one? Says Rashi, the upper one was kosher and was closer. The upper one was more over here, and the lower one was more over there. So up until Apamia Ilon, that's where you can marry a family. It's closer to mainland Bavel. Apamia Tato was a bit further towards Elam, and towards Meishan, and Meishan is bad news. Remember what we said about Meishan? Meishan is dead, everyone's mamzerim. So that's a danger zone. Yeah? Meishan, all mamzer, was mamzer land. So you go up until Apamia Ilo, the upper one, and don't go further over there, far away, more into Apamia Tato. No, that's already bad news. Ubein Chada L'Chada Parsa. Between the two towns, the two Pamias, there was a distance of one parsa, yeah, one parsa of a distance. It's not that much, right? Parsa is 4 kilometers, I think, something like that. 2.9 miles. Okay, I'm talking like non-American, whatever. How much is that? 4 kilometers. Okay, the kakapdi, they don't say kilometers, no. 4 mil. 4 mil, right? It's about 4 kilometers, I think. Yeah. Bekitzer the kakapdi adodi. And they were very particular to stay away from each other. The two Apamias, they wouldn't even lend each other fire. Sometimes, you know, it was hard to make fire. You would lend fire to people, like in Yom Tov, right? Sometimes you forget to light fire. You borrow from a neighbor. Like Bomer, nice. Why were they so particular? Because one of the Apamias was Meyuchas, the other one wasn't. They didn't want to befriend each other and get into, you know, marriage relationship between the two communities, because one of them was Meyuchas, the other one was not, and that's why they kept to themselves very much, which is again reminds us of the Chalabim, the Chalab community. They're very, very to themselves, because I guess they got a tradition not to marry into anybody that you don't know from other communities. The Simonich. Now, how do you know? What's the way to know who's kosher, who's posul? Simonach the psulta, the way to know which one is the bad one, the psoilus, the low quality one, the mishtaya mishnis. As I told you, that area was close to Meishan. So the town that talks Meishanis, the language of Meishan, and they don't talk Aramaic, they talk Meishanese, yeah, not Chinese, Meishan language. You know that they are more connected to Meishan, which is danger zone, and that's bad news. Okay, up until now we covered the entire area of the Chidekel, of the Tigris. Up north is Yoani or Azak. Over here is Avna or Mushchani, and over here is Apamya Ilo. Now let's deal with the Pras, the Euphrates, yeah? Okay. Now the Pras had a few towns over here. I would draw them all more towards here, whatever. Imagine yourself that these towns are further, a bit further to the south. And the question is, when you walk down Bavel, how far do you go to the south and can still consider yourself in Bavel halachically to get a nice, clean, clear shidduch? Rav Omar ad Akr de Tulbakni. Rav says the Akr de Tulbakni, that town over here, yeah, over here up until here, it's still kosher, but further down is not kosher anymore. Yeah, V'Shmuel Omar ad Gisho de Bepras. Shmuel says there was a bridge. There's a reason I didn't draw it before. Shmuel says over here there was a river there was a bridge over the river Pras around here, and up until the river, I would actually draw it over here. Let's say this is the, yeah, let's say this is the river. Yeah, there was a bridge over here, and up until the bridge, you can marry families. Beyond the bridge, further away from the bridge, that's already a shaila. And again, we assume that Shmuel is more mekel than Rav. Rav only allowed up until Akra. Shmuel went a bit further to the bridge. Rabbi Yochanan says, Ad Ma'abaras de Gizma. Rabbi Yochanan says, until the Ma'abaras, until the passage of Gizma, which is more machmir than all of them. Bavel goes, yeah, from there only over here. Again, I assume it's further down, yeah? Maybe you can go like this, whatever. There's more space, I assume. Yeah, Shmuel says, Rabbi Yochanan says, only up to Ma'abarta de Gizma, that's Bavel, and not beyond that, further down. Now we're going to get very strong. That's Rabbi Yochanan. Layet Abaye would curse the Tamer of Yosef, or maybe Rav Yosef would curse Aderav. Wow. In other words, he would curse people who would be mekel like Rav. Because again, we have Shmuel the most mekel, Rav in the middle, and Rabbi Yochanan most machmir. So Rabbi Yochanan would say, what, you marry families further down the bank of the river by Akra? No, Akra is already a dangerous place. Akra the Turbakni. That's whoever marries a girl or boy from there, you should curse him, yeah, because he's breaking all the lineage, all the purity of Am Yisrael. Wait a second, he only cursed those that followed Rav? Ad Rav layet, ad Shmuel lo layet. You're telling me he only cursed those that followed Rav, Akra, and not those that followed Shmuel, the bridge? What do you mean? Avada not, because why? Shmuel is even more mekel. Shmuel takes you even further down the river to be mekel, give you more. Yeah, he's including more space, more land in the kula, in the lenient place. So of course you have to be even more to curse Shmuel followers even more. And says the Gemara, "Enachinami ela must be la'et adarav v'koshkana de Shmuel." Yes, that's what he meant. He curses again. Rabbi Yochanan most machmir. He would curse anybody who'd follow Rav, and kol shekin those who follow Shmuel. Avada. V'boy seima. Here comes a surprise. Another explanation. He would only curse people who follow Rav and not Shmuel. How could that be? But Shmuel's more mekel. Says the Gemara, no. That bridge, when Shmuel said you have to be mekel on the bridge, you know the bridge used to be originally here. Shmuel was the most machmir. Originally, the bridge used to be here. And when Shmuel said he can only be mekel till the bridge is most machmir. Here, the bridge is there, used to be. Letatoi, down here, close to the north, Vikoi, that's what it used to be. Vaidna, nowadays there's no government. Nowadays the Persians came and they started ruling Babylonia at some point, or parts of it, and now they ruined the bridge from here and moved it over here. So the bridge, the way you know it now, comes out to be very mekel. But when Shmuel said, what he meant was to be very machmir, and only allowed to the bridge. So of course, Rabbi Yochanan wouldn't curse Shmuel followers because even more machmir than him. Amar le'Abaye l'Rav Yosef. Oh, we're about to finish the basic borders. Amar le'Abaye l'Rav Yosef leha gisa de pras adecha. That side of the Euphrates, which means to the west, below the river, so to speak, up until where adecha? Up until where do you consider it to be? Up until where do you consider it to be as Bavel? Amale, my daitich. What do you think? Why are you asking? Who cares about that side of Bavel? I guess there weren't a lot of Jews there. Mishum Beiram, right? In other words, the only town where I assume just from the context of the Gemara, Beiram was the only town which was a question, which was Jewish, which we cared about, right? When it comes to Yuchsin. So you're asking me because of Beiram? Is that your issue? Beiram, no question. Meyachsi Pumpadisa mi Beiram nasvi. Oh, even the best of Pumpadisa, and as we says, Pumpadisa was the cream of the crop. So even the most meyuchosim, the Rosh Yeshiva, the Choshuva people of who? Of Pumpadisa, they would marry from Beiram with no question. So therefore, there's no point here of starting with borders. The only place, the only town which we care about was Beiram, and Beiram happens to be super meyuchos, and therefore it's okay. Amar of Popet, before we continue, I'll make a bracha and then we'll say something else. Now, there is another nafkamina, another halachic application to whether a place is called Bavel or not called Bavel. And that is as follows. The first sugya in Maseches Gittin is about Befona Nechta, Befona Nechtam. We mentioned it in passing here and there in the past, and that is if a person brings a get from Chutz La'aretz to Eretz Yisrael, the man divorcing his wife, where is he now? In Chul, somewhere in Chutz La'aretz, and the woman is in Eretz Yisrael. So he sends it to the shliach, okay, as we've seen in the second parak. Now, people in Chutz La'aretz in general are less knowledgeable in Torah than Eretz Yisrael. The Botei Dinim, the Choshuv Botei Dinim, are not as Choshuv as in Eretz Yisrael. Therefore, when the shliach comes from Chutz La'aretz to Eretz Yisrael, he has to say to the Beis Din in Eretz Yisrael, he brings it to the woman in front of Beis Din. They inquire that everything is right, and he has to say Befonei Nechtav Befonei Nechtam. The shliach has to be a person. I'm not going to all the details. Let's assume now that the shliach is known to Beis Din that he's a good man, that he himself is knowledgeable and knows what he's talking about, and he is telling Beis Din he has to Befonei Nechtav Befonei Nechtam, meaning it was written in my presence. I've seen the writing and it's good. Befonei Nechtam. The chasima of the Eidim is very, very crucial, yeah, at least according to one opinion. You have to say, this was signed in my presence. I know everything is fine. That is only if you come from Chutz La'aretz with a get to Eretz Yisrael. What's Chutz La'aretz? How can you say all Chutz La'aretz are less knowledgeable than Eretz Yisrael? We know very choshev people. In a Chinami, says the Gemara, Bavel happens to be a very Toradic place. Bavel was not like the rest of Chutz La'aretz. Not only they're not Mamzerim, Talmud Bavli, all the Amoraim. Where did you think they lived? In Alaska. They lived in Bavel. So Bavel was a very Toradic place, and therefore it says in Gittin that if you bring a get from Bavel, and we know you came from Bavel, look at the airline ticket, yeah? You came from Bavel to Eretz Yisrael to bring a get, then you do not have to say B'fonei Nechtam, B'fonei Nechtam. We assume it was done right. We assume it's like sending a get from Haifa to Yerushalayim. Everybody was of high level. You can ask about million questions about it, but not now. You have to wait until you learn Gittin. It's a very, very big sugya with billions of details and lomdas, v'chule. Just accept right now that Bavel is the place, yeah, where the level is high, the level of Dayanus of Halacha is high, and therefore we don't have to say B'fonei Nechtam, B'fonei Nechtam. If it's from Bavel, it's kosher. I'll give you a small example. I'll give an example, nowadays example. Not a great example. We're moving from Gittin to food, something a bit more pleasant. Yeah, I know. I spoke to people from Badat Seder Charedis. So Badat Seder Charedis, let's say they're going to be mashgiach on a factory in Chutz La'aretz or something. Yeah. So if you have some kind of material of raw, not raw material, but I'm saying relatively raw material, not the final product, and that material is under the hechsher of a different hechsher, and they could say, okay, the raw material is under another hechsher, right? And now with that raw materials, we're going to watch how they're gonna manufacture the candy or whatever in this factory. So they don't rely on any other hechsherim. In other words, they want to check for themselves that even the very, very beginning primal material, was done under their own hechsher, except for a few hechsherim that they trust. The only very few hechsherim in the world that Badat said they trust, unless things changed in the past 20 years, in which the Badat says, okay, we trust that other hechsher so much that if something is under their hashgacha, we are okay with that, and we can continue from now on, assuming it's kosher. One of them is Kiddushin of London. Wow, London. Yeah, Kiddushin of London is one of them. Weiter, they say there. I don't know who the other ones are. Omar of Pope, maybe whoever. Yeah, Omar Pope. Says Rav Pope, Kemachlokes leyuchsin, kach machlokes leinian gitin. Rav Pope says, just like you have a machlokes regarding yuchsin, this whole machlokes, for example, Rav and Shmuel over here, Rav Shmuel Rabbi Yochanan over here, the same machlokes, the same opinions, who tell you Bavel is up to here, not up to there, regarding yuchsin, regarding what is kosher Bavel, where it's meyuchas, and mamzer free, the same machlokes leinian gitin, the same machlokes exactly would be for gitin. In other words, wherever people are more mamzerim, the chachomim stay away from them. It's a lower place, lower class place, already known to be treif, so it's not so toyerik. Leinian gitin, so for gitin is the same idea. And wherever Bavel goes, let's say over here, according to Rav, up until here, if you bring a get, you don't have to say b'fanenechem nechtam. And according to Shmuel, if a person brings a get from Yoani up until Yoani, he doesn't have to say b'fanenechem. That's who Rav Pope. Rav Yosef Omar machlokes leyuchsin. Rav Yosef says that's true. No, the machlokes which we've seen so far is only regarding yuchsin, regarding the lineage and the mamzerus. Aval gitin divrahakol ad arva tinyona de gishra. When it comes to gitin, then everyone agrees that up until the avra tinyona de gishra. So arva tinyona, the second arva, the second marsh, or the second lake of the gesher, of the bridge. I don't know if he means around this bridge or not. And they actually, in the pictures that I've seen, they don't write where this place is. But everyone agrees, he says, that when it comes to that border, everyone knows until the second lake of near the river bridge, that's where we know that you have to say b'fanenechtam. Only there, and beyond that, it's not kosher anymore, and you have to say b'fanenechtam. Omar Ami Bar Abba. Now again, we're talking about different places in Bavel, not about borders, and we can actually almost say goodbye to that picture, almost, but we have now different places in Bavel where some of them are more miyuchas than the others. Omar Ami Bar Abba. Chavil Yama. Now Chavil Yama was not a city. Chavil Yama is an area, a region. Chavil Yama, the area, the zone, the region of Chavil Yama, Tchilta de Bavel. What's Tchilta de Bavel? Tchilta de Bavel, Tchilta either means the Klil. Klil is the crown of Bavel, the Klil Tiferes, or that's Rashi, or according to another pshat, Tchilta means the Tcheles. Tcheles of the tzitzis is the holiest part. Or stam, Tcheles is considered what? Very fine, nice color. It was always a royal color in the past. Basically, Tchilta means the cream of the crop, the best of the best. So Tchilta de Bavel, Chavil Yama, out of the entire Bavel, you want to marry a family knowing that there are super duper michosim with no question whatsoever, best hechsher, that's Chavil Yama. The area of Chavil Yama. They're the best of Bavel, the cream of the crop. Shunya Viguvia. Now, the towns of Shunya Viguvia, which are inside that area, first wide line, Shunya Viguvia, Tchilta de Chavil Yama. Shunya Viguvia, they are the best of the best of the best. They are the best of Chavil Yama. Wow. Ravina Omar Af Tzitzura. Ravina says there was another third place also in that area called Tzitzura. That town also was a very, very well miyuchas town. Tani Namayachi, Chanan ben Tvichas Omer, Chavil Yama Tchilta de Bavel. We're going to see a brisa to support that. Chanan ben Pinchas says, as we said, Chavil Yama is the best of Bavel. Shunya, Viguvia, Vetzitzura, all three towns, Shunya, Guvia, and Tzitzura, all of them are Tchilta de Chavil Yama. All of them are the best of, within the area, they're the best three towns in that region. Amar Rav Pope. Now Rav Pope comes and says something negative about that place, about that Tchilta, about Chavil Yama. Amar Rav Pope. Nowadays, Ooh, oy, 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 oy. That super duper clean place. Nowadays, Kutoim assimilated, infiltrated those families, that town, the Kutim. Kutim are a question of the Jewish Bichlal, and even if they are Jewish, very questionable. Bulgarian, Kutim is a big, big headache in Allah. I've seen them many times. They're at best, they are questionable Bulgarian, if not complete Goyim. So even if you say that a Kuti married the Bas Israel, and therefore is still kosher, the kid is definitely not a big yichus if the father is a goy. You can't say a child from a goyish father and Yiddish mother is Jewish, but is not the best of yichus, right? So how can you? So Rav Papa says no. Nowadays things changed. Yeah, Chavil Yama, not what it used to be. Says the Gemara Velohi. That's not true. The Gemara argues on Rav Papa, says it's not true. Ooh, that's now a big, big question. I'll just translate what the Gemara says. The Gemara says he wanted to marry a woman from Chavil Yama, and they didn't let him. Explanation number one: who's he? There was who tried to, go out with a girl and was after a girl from Chavil Yama, and they stopped him. It's a kuti. The Poshup Pshat is there was once a kuti who maybe went out with a girl from Chavil Yama, but at the end they said no way, we don't let you touch that girl. Don't marry her. So because of that Havamina of the Kuti, already a bad name, the place unfortunately gained some kind of bad reputation. But it's not true. They never let the Kuti marry. And therefore, what Rav Papa said, according to the Gemara, is basically based upon misinformation. The other pshat, which is much more juicy and very problematic hashkafically, is that Rav Papa himself who suggested the shidduch from there, and they refused Rav Papa, either for him or his sons, and because of that, he bears a grudge and is bad-mouthing them. Says Tosfos. I can see Rashi also, but you have to see Tosfos, because Tosfos says it's stronger. Tosfos is teaching us a lesson in hashkafa. Says the Tosfos, Itza bo minai velo yavulei. Says Tosfos, v'lekacho itzi alem laz, meaning there was a kuti, they didn't allow him to marry, so the kuti is the one that actually badmouthed them. The kuti said, they refused me. The place is full of kutim. Because of his own resentment, they didn't let him marry, his beloved. That's Poshup Pshat. Yesh Mefolshim, says Tosfos, the Kaida of Pope. Of Pope is the one who was refused, and therefore he's deliberately badmouthing them. Says Tosfos, V'loi Nehira. This is very unclear to me. The Chas V'Sholom Shiale, the Daitish Lois Tzadik, that Tzadik would entertain such a thought, Lo Tzilaz Alem Shaloi Kedin. It's Tzadik like Rav Papa, if he's mentioned in the Gemara, you know what he has? Ruach HaKodesh, Tchias HaMeisim. Rav Papa wouldn't be so petty, and obviously he would not stoop that low, right, to badmouth somebody just because he didn't get a shidduch. And therefore, says Tosfos, I fully reject that pshat. Okay? So that teaches us something about the Amoraim and the way we should look at them. Give me half a second. My Chavil Yama. What's Chavil Yama? We don't know where Chavil Yama is. Where is it? Amar Papa zu Pras de Bursi. It's a town called Pras de Bursi. In other words, in the olden days, it was called, I guess, Chavil Yama. In the times of the Amoraim, it was known as Pras de Bursi. Cities changed their names. You know that? So nowadays, it's called Pras of the Bursi. And therefore, that you should know that that's a place. Nowadays, I don't know where it is. I'm not so proficient with the geography of Iraq. 1 second. Let me ask a question. You see that Kutim at this point, we just met the term Kutim for the first time, not in Shas, but the first time in this period. So we see here that Kutim wanted to marry girls from a Babylonian town. So now what do you see? See that Kutim were there, and funnily enough, that marriage between Kutim and Jews would definitely be an issue, right? So now those Kutim are not mentioned as one of the 10 groups brought with Bavel. They were taken from Bavel, uprooted, and taken to Eretz Yisrael. The question is why? If Kutim pose a problem, which they do, and they lived in Bavel, why didn't Ezra take them? You could say, maybe like you're saying, Ellen, that those Kutim only came back from Eretz Yisrael to Bavel after Ezra died. Because between Ezra and the Gemara, there's been a good few hundred years. So it could be, although it's still a question, why the mention is being brought with Ezra as one of the groups. You could say that Kutim, right? Again, as I told you before about your other question, Kutim are not one of the 10. Why? Either Kutim are Goyim, Either you know that this kuti is a go and he prays to the dove, right? Or the kuti is a girl. If the kuti is a girl, then he is mentioned in the first 10 groups. He is one of the are part of the 10 groups. So then that's your answer, maybe. Either the kutim are goyim, if the goyim stay in Bavel, and if they're Gerim, they came with Ezra. Could be either or, there's no middle. But that could be the answer. Weiter. Now we're going to talk about a town called Shot Meshot. There was once a man who told, I guess he told the Chachomim, he told people, Ana min Shot Meshot. I come from a town called Shot Meshot. Yeah, shoot me. Yeah, he said Shot Meshot, that's my town. And I assume the context was Shiddichim, he wanted to marry a girl, and they didn't know what to make of this boy who is from Shut Meshut. Omar Ritzchak Nafcha al Ragel of Omar, Shot Meshot ben Anarois Omedes, Shot Meshot is between the rivers. Yeah, what does it mean between the rivers? Now, according to Rashi, the Poshup Shat, it's between the rivers, between the Pas and the Chidekel. Good, everywhere in the middle, bang in the middle, that's a good place to be. That's your, your place in the sun. That's a good place. Why? Because that's where, that's a real Bavel. And the Gemara is asking, my havi. In other words, what if it's between the rivers? What does it help? What does it mean for us? Ben Anairos, any area between the rivers is as good as who? What's goylo is pupadisa for yuchsin. Pupadisa is the epitome of good yichud, clean, amazing, no mamzerim, all tzaddikim. So anywhere between the two rivers is as good as pupadisa for yichus. Deicha kaima. Where exactly? Oh, now we're going to get into trouble because, as we know, this area of the Pras, the area close to the bank of the river, is not so kosher anymore. Right? It's a question. Up to here. Yeah. And therefore, where exactly is it between the towns? Amar b'yochanan mihid dekira v'le'el. Oh, you know where Shot Meshot is? It's over here. Shot Meshot is here. Shot Meshot is here. Is even more to the south than Dekira. Dekira wasn't even mentioned. Is that a good place? A terrible place. They're arguing over here, and you tell me Shot Meshot is that far, and it's a good place? Frag the Gemara, what? Rabbi Yochanan himself said that the only kosher place, the border of the kosher place is here, is over here. And you tell me that here is kosher? Amar Abaye, Ritzua Nafka. It was basically, Shot Meshot was here, and there was a long and diagonal piece of land, strip of land, that went all the way up here till Shot Meshot. Because Shot Meshot was the whole area. Shot Meshot was probably a region, was like that, like a strip from here to here. And therefore, because it starts over here, it's kosher. Because Shot Meshot, really, the origin, the main town is here. That very kosher place, very close to over here to the north. Therefore, although it goes all the way there, it's still kosher because there's just one Ritzua, a strip of land that goes all the way there. Amar of Ika bar Abin. Now again, we're moving out of the map, and we're going now to talk about specific places. Amar of Ika bar Abin, Amar Rav Chananel. Remember the names. Rav Ika bar Abin quotes Rav Chananel. Omar Rav, who quotes Rav, that says what? Chilozon Nihavand. Chilozon is a river. The river of Nihavand. There's a town called Chilozon Nihavand. I guess there was a question about it. And here come who? Rav Ika bar Abin, quoting Rav Chananel, quoting Rav, is saying Chilozon Nihavand is pure as gold, cream of the crop. It's as good as Pumpadisa for Yichus. They offer you the suggested shidduch from over there, run for it. Amar Abaye lo tetzisule. Abaye says, no, don't listen to Rav Ika bar Abin. He's telling you that it's a very kosher place. You know why he's kosherizing it? Abaye is blaming his friend, of what? Self-interest. He says he himself has a Yavama, a sister-in-law who lives over there, and that Yavama, now she has to marry him. His brother died. Because he has his own interest of what, saying that the Yibum should be a good Yibum, that's what he's telling all of us that Chilozon Nihavand is such an amazing place. Well, in reality, it's not. Interesting. That's what Abai says about Ravika Baravin. Omar Leo, Ravika Baravin responded, what do you want from me? Atu Didihi. You think that statement is mine? Yeah, Yavoma, maybe I have Yavoma from over there. But it's not my own statement. The Rav Hananel, I quoted Rav Hananel who quoted Rav, right? So, in other words, Rav Hananel is still alive. Azil Shailua Rav Hananel. They went and they asked Rav Hananel, you want? Go ask Rav Hananel and leave me alone. Don't tell me they have self-interest. Rather, go ask Rav Hananel, who is the origin of that statement, and he'll tell you what the truth is. Amar lehu, yes, Rav Hananel endorsed what Ravika Baravin said. Achi Omar Rav, it's true what my friend, my Talmud was saying. It's absolutely true. Achi Omar Rav, yes, it's true. Rav himself, Rav Tana Polig, Rav had the level of a Tana, you know. Rav says the Chilazon Yavand is as good as Pumbedisa for Yichus. Why is Chilazon Yavand such an issue? Why is it such a issue of dispute and questions? Because you see, really it's a machlokes. We're going to see now that Chilazon Yavand is really a bit of a question because not everyone agrees that Chilazon Yavand is such an amazing, pure gold place. Upliga Rabba Bar Kahana. We're going to see that Rabba Bar Kahana argues on what we just said. The Chilazon Yavand.
Miles away, the other side of the
Oh, the Chilazon Yavand is far away?
Yeah.
Okay, I saw that a little bit. Yeah, the map is less friendly. Yeah, okay. You're saying the Chilazon Yavand is far away, and thus I assume it's a big question. Yeah, it's a hick town. It's in the boondocks. It's not in Brooklyn. Yeah, it's not. It's far away, so you don't know about the Yichus. Okay, very nice. Thank you. Thank you for the comment. You say Chilazon Yavand is geographically far. So we have to know it's not in the middle of the Bein and Naharo, it's Cholent. We have to know what's going on over there. Upliga Rabba Bar Kahana. De'omar Rabba Bar Kahana. Rabba Bar Kahana says as follows. It says, and I saw it yesterday in the Novi, in Melochim, it talks about the 10 tribes. The Asar Shvotim, they were exiled many years before the Yehuda, before Yehuda and Binyamin. And it says about them, what does it mean when it says about the 10 tribes? Vayanchem bechlach, bechalach, ubechavoyer, nehar goizan, ve'arei modai. 4 places, really 4 places. One of them is Arei Modai, the cities of Modai, Chalach, Chavor, the river of Gozan, and Arei Modai, the towns of Modai. Those 4 areas is where Sancheriv, where he exiled the 10 tribes into those places, resettled them, relocated them to those places. Chalach zo Chilozoin, okay, it's not Chilozon Yabad, it's Chilozon. Chavor zo Hadayev, Hadayev is also mentioned in Mishnah and Shabbos. Chavor is Chadayev. Nahar Gozan zo Ginzak, okay. Arei Chamdan, Arei Modai zo Chemdan v'Chavrosea. Maybe it's Hamadan in Iran. You know, there's a place called Hamadan. Maybe that's it is, yeah. So Arei Modai is Hamadan and its Chavrosea and its friends, meaning Hamadan and its satellite cities. The Amrila, but some say zo Nihavan v'Chavrosea. Ooh, some say that the last place to be mentioned, Arei Modai, is Nihavand and its friends. Makes sense now what you say, Ellen. Nihavand is not really in Bavel. Nihavand is actually in Media. In Modai, Nihavand and its surrounding towns, they are in Modai. So far, we didn't see anything about the Kashers. Just have to remember that in that list of places which were inhabited by Asar Shvatim, one of those places is Nihavand. Okay, just remember that. My Chevroi Seha, which ones are the satellite cities, the surrounding cities of Nihavand? Shmuel, Krach, Mushki, V'chuski, V'rumki. Yeah, the towns of Mushki, Chuski, and Rumki. These places were all small towns around Nihavand. All of them were considered as places inhabited by the Asar Shvatim. So, Rabbi Yochanan v'kulam leaf soil. Which means all these places which were eventually populated by the Asar Shvatim, the old apostle. Sadly, the Asar Shvatim were not doing well. Why? Says Rashi, anywhere where Asar Shvatim came and settled, they sadly assimilated by the Goyim. And the girls married Goyim, and says Rashi again, either the Vlad is a mamzer, by a Goy and a Jewish girl, which even if you don't say that's halacha, it's still a pgam, it's not a Yichus-land place. You can't call it, the cream of the crop and tell me it's like Pumbedisa. Pumbedisa girls, all very yeshiva shafrum place, they didn't marry Goyim, and therefore don't compare the two. Clearly, Nihavand, according to this opinion, is way below standard because at best the married goyim. So I'm saying it's not miyuchas, right? Okay, so therefore it's a machlekes whether Chilozon Nihavand of Media is considered to be a kosher place or a very so-so iffy place with the Tzotz Shvatim. You know, Tzotz Shvatim, they didn't have Torah. They're not connected to Beis Hamikdash to Torah. So when they went to exile, they went down even more. They deteriorated spiritually. Where those places are, let's see the map. Hamadan, Nahawan, Halwan, very nice. They're all far away in media. Interesting. You see, they're all far away. It's a place called Hamadan. That's what I thought. Hamadan is in Iran, Nahawan, then Halwan. Okay, today you have homework to look at the map of Iran and Iraq and find all these places. Yay. And then you know who to marry, who not to marry. Don't marry Raisi's daughter, right? That's not a good idea. She's sitting Shiva. Weiter. Kasalka daitach. Yeah, the Gemara says, Kasalka daita. We thought one of those small cities is called Mushchi. Now, I don't know if they're small. One of the cities near Chilazon is Nihavand is called Mushchi. Kasalka daitach. We originally thought the Mushchi, Ainu Mushchini. Remember Mushchini? Here it is. Mushchini is a town that Shmuel said is kosher, right? Frag the Gemara, is Mushchini are the same? Can't be. Shmuel, right? Mushchini, which is bank here by the river bank, the upper part, is kosher. It's as good as Pupditza for Yuchsin. And you're telling me that Mushchi is a treifa place. Mushchi is a place of a Sosa Shvatim. They're all assimilated. Ela Mushchi lachud, Mushchini lachud. So Mushchi is one thing and Mushchini is the other one. They're two different places. Okay, these are the two places, nothing to do with each other. One is in Bavel and kosher, one is outside Bavel and treif. Okay, Beseder. Weiter? Continue or questions? Any questions, anybody? Continue. Beseder? Now, the Gemara we're about to read now is a Gemara to do with the vision, the nevuah, the prophecy that Daniel had. And Daniel saw 4 animals coming out of a river, each one representing a different golus. Yeah, each one a different golus. So now we're going to talk about one of those animals, and we're going to see what that means for us in our sugya. Okay, so Omar Rabbi Yochanan, yeah, Vitlas, the third animal that was seen by Daniel, Eloin Befuma, the third one. I think Eloin here means it went up. I'm not sure. Bepuma bein shinea. Yeah. In other words, how do they translate the pasuk? Bepuma bein shinea means in its mouth and between the teeth. In other words, Klal Yisrael, so it sounds like, is going to be in the mouth of this animal, but also between the teeth. Rashi explains, when you talk about something being inside the mouth, you don't see it between the teeth. Between the teeth, when you see somebody eating, I'm sorry to be disgusting, but if you see somebody and you see by the teeth, it's not right inside the mouth. Inside the mouth is really outside the main part of the mouth, and inside the mouth is inside. So the pasuk seems to contradict itself and saying that the Bnei Israel, when it comes to that animal, he will be, part of it will be inside the teeth, inside, and sometimes will be outside. Amar B'Yochanan, Zo Chilazon Hadayev U'Netzivin. The towns of Chilazon Hadayev U'Netzivin, that area, Shepe'omim Bolatan, Upe'omim Polatisan. Which means sometimes they would control over the Jews, and sometimes they wouldn't. Sometimes they would swallow the Jews, and sometimes they wouldn't. That animal, that Malchus, which is, by the way, Bavel, that Malchus, that animal which is compared to Bavel, that animal will have Bnei Israel sometimes in and sometimes out of their control, because that area was in the border of Bavel, I guess. Sometimes Bavel controlled it, and sometimes others controlled it. That's why Bnei Israel are kilu in and out of its mouth. So that's the Malchus of Bavel. The Aru Chivya Achrei Tanina, there was another animal, a second one, Damye Ledov, which is similar to a dove. Another animal similar to a bear. An animal which is similar to a bear. Which animal was like a bear, and what did it represent? The animal with the big teeth. I'm actually not sure which one is Bavel. Which animal was Bavel? I don't remember. I wanted to see. No, bear is the Persians, and the Bavel Bavel is a lion. I don't remember. Do they say? I don't remember which animal was Bavel. Excuse my ignorance here. What?
Bears.
What?
Both bears.
Both were bears. Interesting.
Similar to a bear.
No, but the first one, I don't think so. Bavel was not a bear. No, Bavel was something else. I don't remember. I'm going to check it out. Anyway, here the Gemara doesn't say the first animal with the teeth in and teeth out, yeah, is Bavel. I don't know which animal it was, and the animal which was the bear is compared to Persia, similar to a bear. Why are the Persians like a bear? Oh, we know your enemy. Tani Rav Yosef elu parsim she'oichlin v'shoisim kedoiv. They eat and drink like a bear. Yeah, they eat and drink a lot, and they eat and drink. Yeah, Persians were very gashmi. Umusobalin ke doiv, and also they were very musobal. They were what? They were fat, and musobal is also cumbersome. They were like very fat and hard to move. Yeah, megadlin sear ke doiv, and they're very hairy like the bear. The enle menucha ke doiv, and they run around. They have no rest like a bear. A bear, if you ever see a bear in the zoo, Rashi says the bear, when you tie it, when you chain it, it keeps running around all the time. I know it sleeps for half a year, but when it doesn't sleep, it keeps running around all the time. And so too, the Persians are like that. Okay, they're very mobile people and like to eat a lot and very hairy. The kids are they're like bears. That's the tchuna of the Persians. Rav Ami, ki avichazi parsa derachiv. When Rav Ami would see a Persian riding on a horse, Omar, hainu du v'nayada. Here's a mobile bear. You have a bear and a mobile bear. He's a bear moving. In other words, because he's in the horse, now he's like the same bear, but in a mobile situation. Omar le Rebbe le Levi. Rebbe asked Levi. Yeah, Rebbe and Levi lived the same time. Levi was an Amoira, but Levi was younger than Rebbe, and Levi was a person who knew how to say nice mishalim. He knew how to compare and how to make nice analogies. Yeah, how to explain things in a very, yeah, to bring it to life. Yeah, in a very real way. So Rebbe asked Levi, "Har'eni parsim, show me how the Persians are," which means give me a good mashal. I want you to, show a picture. I want to draw a picture in my mind of what Persians are like, hashkafically. Omar Lei, Levi told him, Doimim lachayolos shel Beis David. They are like the soldiers of Beis David. Wow. The Persians are, says Rashi, giboirim. They are heroes. They are mighty. Like the soldiers of David, Persians too are very mighty people, unfortunately. Areini chaverin. Now he asked him, show me the chaverim. In other words, tell me what is the essence. Show me. I want to see. I want to know hashkafically how should I look at chaverim. Chaverim are not friends. If you think chaverim are friends, chaverim are mentioned many times. Also in Masechet Shabbos we saw it. Chaverim are some. I don't what. Chabarim. Chabar. I wonder who they are today in history. Okay, Chabarin, thank you for the correction. Chabarin basically were people who the Gemara in Shabbos Daf Yudbeis Amud Aleph says, the Gemara says it's better to be under the ruling control, to be oppressed by any guy except for Chabarim. Chabarim were the worst. Chabarim are the worst going imaginable, and here Rashi says they're even worse than the Persians. Harfonim em yosel miparsim. They even devour, in other words, they attack more aggressive than the Persians. They're really, really bad. And also the Gemara in Shabbos says a few times in Chanukah, remember in Chanukah, why is it that you sometimes can't light Chanukah candles? Because the Chabarim had a holiday that I guess would sometimes fall on Chanukah, in which they don't allow anybody else to light any light, to ignite any light except for their shrine. Nobody else was allowed to have light the whole time. So these Chabarim, okay, they're so bad, they're like Malachi Chabala. They are like the destructive angels. Destructive angels are very, very bad. So that's what they are. They're really bad. They're as bad as Malachi Chabala, which exist in Gehenim. Arein Ishmaelim, show me the Ishmaelim, show me the essence of Ishmaelim. What are they in the eyes of Hashem, in the eyes of Ashkafa? Ishmaelim, the Arabs, are like the demons of the toilet, right? The toilet in Nova. Yeah, they're like the toilets of Besakis and Machshimam. What are they? They're so black. They're dressed in black. Yeah, Rashi says, Meluboshim shchoirim domim l'shedim. They dress all black and they look like shedim. They look like demons. Areini talmid chachamim shebavel. Oh, let's get more positive. Show me the talmid chachamim in Bavel. Domim el malocha ashoris. Why are they like malocha ashoris? Well, first of all, they're good people. And Rashi also says they used to dress in white. They used to dress dafka in white. and they're dressed in white, looking like angels, especially on Shabbos. Rashi reminds us of the Gemara Daf Shabbos Chaf Hey Amud Beis. Rabbi Yehuda on Erev Shabbos would wash, dress himself in white, and with the holiness of Friday, preparing for Shabbos, sitting all washed and all pure, dressed in white, he would look mamish like Malach HaShores, look like an archangel, and that's what Talmid Chachamim in Bavel are. And also another pshat, Talmid Chachamim of Bavel, there's another explanation. Rashi says because it would always dress very nicely. Yeah, it would make sure to look presentable, like a Talmid Chacham should, right? And they would always dress nicely. These are the people of Bavel, Talmid Chachamim. Continues the Gemara. When Rebbe was at his deathbed, Omar, Rebbe on his deathbed all of a sudden got all kinds of Ruach HaKodesh, extra Ruach HaKodesh, and he revealed all kinds of things that he just saw. Yeah, in his mind's eyes, he saw all kinds of things that were going on, not necessarily nice things. He revealed all kinds of secrets that nobody else knew. When Rebbe died, he said, Humanya Ika be Bavel. Humanya Ika be Bavel. There's a big problem in Bavel. There's a city called Humanya. Okay, very nice. And it's Bavel. What's the problem? Kula Amoinoi. Wow. The city is full of Amoinim, meaning the Gerim from Amoin. Remember the halacha? No, quiz. If an Amoini man, Megayer, nice guy, Megayer, can be a Rosh Hashiva, he's a ger, we love him. Can he marry a regular Bas Yisrael? No. Can his son marry? No. Can his sons marry? No, never. An Amoini man, his daughter may, but his son may not marry an Amoini, a ger, or any descendant of an Amoini cannot marry into the Jewish nation, can marry Mamzeres, a Gyoris, marry whoever you want, not a regular Jewish girl, except for an Amoini woman may. That's why Nama Amoinis, yeah, she married Shlomo Melech. Yeah. Now comes the question: what about today? What about today? Shall I be concerned? Let's say they offer my daughter a nice girl. Let's say, yeah, and do I have to ask if he's an Amoini? So the halacha says no, because today Sancheriv mixed up the nations. Sancheriv made all confusion amongst the nations. We don't have to be concerned that that girl who's from Cleveland, Ohio, or Sao Paulo, Brazil, or I don't know where. We don't have from Jordan, even Jordan. I don't think we have to. I wouldn't take from them anyways. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'll tell you later about them in Jordan. Mesgaria Ika beBavel. There's a city called Mesgaria in Bavel. Kula de Mamzerahi. Oive, look what happened. It's a city in Bavel, and Bavel is what? Bavel is not as good as. We thought Bavel is what is kosher. No Mamzerim. Bavel is not what it used to be. There's a city in Bavel, and this entire city is full of Mamzerim. Wow, in Bavel. So there are exceptions to the rule. Birka Ika beBavel, and there's a town called Birka in Bavel. Shnei Achim Yesh Sham. There are two brothers over there, and Rebbe envisions it. He sees it in his mind's eye. Shemachlifin neshotem zel hazeh. They swap wives. Lo aleinu. Eishasish, Eishasach. Lo aleinu. Yeah, terrible. They switch wives, the two brothers. That's what's going on in Bavel. You think it's all frum and nice. Yeah. What? Brothers. Okay, some things they can't say online. Yosef. Birta desati ika beBavel. There's a city called Birta desatia. What's listot? Sote. And what sote means modern, but something else. But sote would also mean what? You go. What's listot me'aderech? Rabbis, go off the derech. The city in Bavel that I know that today they went off the derech. That's what's called Satya. Hayom saru ma'achra mokoim. Yeah, no news, no internet, and Rebbe knows in his Ruach HaKodesh that today the entire city, or many of them, they went off the derech. Oy v'voy. Why? What happened? The akfi peira bekavri b'shabsa, the peira, which here peira means the fish pond, that is special pond for fish. And today, akfi, today it went up and basically flooded in a good way. So all the fish, and was Shabbos. It was Shabbos, yeah. The fish pond flooded, the natural fish pond flooded, and the fish all came out. We don't have to fish them. It's very tempting for them to just come and chop the fish. It was very easy and accessible. The fish kilo went up with a flood, and now it was easy to catch them, but it's still also because of tzeda. You're not allowed to fish on Shabbos, but they did not stand the temptation. They didn't stand the test. The azil v'tzadu b'shabsa, and they went and they trapped it, or you'd call it fish it. They fished it easily on Shabbos. They couldn't stand. Parnos, I need it for my parnoso. I have to open my shop in Shabbos. I need it for my parnoso. What happened then? V'shamtinu rabachi bar b'yoshia. Now he put them under cherem. Now look today, you know, you treat them nicely. Cherem, what's going on here? You guys, Michal Shabbos, Cherem, who was machrim them? Rabachi Bar Yoshia. They ishtamud, and then they went completely off. Nishtamdu, they converted into whatever religion was then, and he was machrim them, and they went completely off. Allah Aleinu, such a sad story, and that is the Birta de Satya. Akad, it's a fishy story. Yeah, good things today to say. Akad Agmeke Bavel. Yeah, one more thing. There's a town called Akra de Agma in Bavel. Now, good news. Ada Bar Ava Yeshba. There's a person called Ada Bar Ava. Hayim Yesh B'Cheka Shel Avram. Full stop. Today he's sitting in the bosom of Avram Avinu. That means one of two things: either that he died or that he had bris milah. Says Rashi, you can't say that he died. Why? Because Ada Bar Ava was an Amoira, and if Rebbe is talking, Rebbe cannot say today an Amoira died because Rebbe was a Tana. Elamai must be that today he had bris milah, so it was a very early Amoira. Yeah, there were Amoraim who were, in the co-existed with Rav, with Rebbe, and he was an Amoira who lived for very, very long. Because he's mentioned in later generations, he's a person, the Yichus Yomi. Right, Baruch Hashem. I still have to find about this animal. I always forgot the 4 animals in Daniel. That's my debt to you. I have some homework to do. Homework for me, like Boimer homework. But other than that, we have much better knowledge of who to marry, who not to marry from Bavel. Be'ezras Hashem should all come to Eretz Yisrael. Everybody from the nowadays Bavel. See Mashiach very soon. Atzlocho, Vrocho, thank you, and a good Lag Boimer. Thank you to everyone in Torah anytime. Yay, and in YouTube.